In the last lesson, we used AI to write a PowerShell script on a Windows server. In this one, we're doing the same thing, but I want to show you it in a different scripting language, and we're going to be using Bash on Linux. Now, specifically, I'm running Debian in my home lab for these demos, and we're going to use AI to write a real Bash script, run them live in this environment, and see the output. So we're using the same workflow and the same principles: prompt clearly, read what comes back, and verify it before we run it. The only thing that changes is me showing you that the environment and the commands can be different. That's truly how awesome and flexible these AI tools are. It doesn't matter if you're running Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat, a different distro, everything we cover here translates directly. The core Bash syntax is the same across all of them, and it really does not matter what scripting language we use, the principles are still the same. So let's get into it. Here we are in my Debian in my home lab. You can see this is a pretty minimal setup, and that's intentional. This is just a lab machine that I use, and it's great for the demos that we're doing today. So I'm here in the console, and what we need to do is actually start building a script. Now, of course, because I am SSH'd in, I can't open up a web browser because this Debian is a minimal install, which means no graphical interface. So I still need to use my own device to actually create the prompts. Thankfully, I've got it spun up here, and I've already opened up chatgpt.com. So the first script that I want to write is a system health report. This is one of the most practical things a sysadmin can have. A single script that gives you an at-a-glance view of the server's current state. Things like CPU, memory, disk, and uptime. The things you really want to know the moment that you log onto any machine. So let's go and prompt our ChatGPT. We're going to say, write a bash script for Debian Linux that produces a system health report. The report should display the current date and time, the system's uptime, the CPU usage as a percentage, the total and available RAM in megabytes, and disk usage for all mounted partitions. We also want to see the top 5 processes by CPU usage. Add a clear header and section labels so the output is easy to read, and include basic error handling. Let's see if we launch this, what it gives us. So already it's started to build out a super solid script. All right. At the top, it's doing things like setting the date and time. It's pulling the uptime. It's calculating the memory usage and the available memory in megabytes, like we specifically asked. And the sections headers are all echo statements with the same formatting around them to make the output readable. So again, we're going to go through and we're going to verify all of this in our same time. Let's pretend we've gone and done that, and we've actually, it's even given us down the bottom here, if you take a look at it, how to run this script, which is super awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this now. All right. There's nothing destructive in here at all. It's entirely read-only, and it's just pulling system information and displaying it. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to jump across to our Debian now, and I'm going to do a nano, and I'm going to call this healthreport.sh. All right. Oh, I'm so used to doing that I realize we don't actually need it. We just need to do nano. So I'm going to go ahead and now paste that in. And if we scroll up, we can see the entire script here, all right, all the way through, nice and color-coded, exactly how Nano and Bash like to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control X to exit. Then I'm going to do a capital Y to save it, and I'm going to write it to the healthreport.sh. All right, now I actually need to make this file executable. So you remember that back in our ChatGPT prompt, it walked us through all of this. So we just do the chmod +X healthreport.sh, and now we can run it. And check that out. The report has generated successfully. We've got the date and time up the top. We can see that this machine hasn't exactly been running for a long time now, as I've just spun it up in my home lab. So we have an uptime of 10 minutes. CPU usage of 1.1%, details of memory, as well as disk size, and the top 5 processes by CPU usage. That is a complete system health snapshot from a single command. On a real server, you could schedule this with something like cron to run every morning and output it to a log file, or even email it to yourself. But look at how we got here. One well-structured prompt, a quick read through the output to make it sure it made sense, and we're already using it in our lab to make sure it gives us exactly what you need. And that is the power of AI. Again, Doing this by manually could have taken us 15 to 30 minutes to find all of that information. We've done it in less than 5. So that's Bash with AI on Debian. We've got a script, a system health report built from clear prompts. We've verified it before we ran it, and we've produced a genuinely useful output. The workflow is identical no matter what operating system you're using or what scripting language you're using. As long as you're prompting clearly, reading what comes back and checking for anything destructive, and you're running it in a safe environment, that process can work on any distribution, automating any task that you want. Now, a couple of quick things to remember if you're following along with different distros. You might see slight differences in the syntax that you need to use, which is why it's so important that we prompt it with the right information. But I've shown you 2 examples now of how we can do this. If we wanted more to this script, well, it's just a case of going and asking ChatGPT to add more to it. Maybe we want to color code it. Maybe we want to check more than just the system health that we've already done. Maybe we want to ensure that certain services are running, things like that. We can just use this incredible prompt here to work on it. And it even gives us some notes of what we can do. And if there was an error or anything, we can just come in here and get that one cleared up. So we've seen 2 examples now of how we can use that AI to automate the workflows that we might be doing manually every single day.